Hey, and thanks for watching. I'm Tiffany and tonight I'm going to teach you how to make a quick, easy, and sophisticated seafood dish that will really impress you and yours. Caviar. That's Greek for fisherman stew, over a whole wheat spaghetti, and we'll also be serving it with garlic toast. But don't ask me how to say that word in Greek. I looked it up one day and it is a total tongue twister. The Greeks have been fishing commercially since ancient times. They were the first ones to do it. So most Mediterranean dishes have their roots in Greek cuisine, like the Italian pescatore, the French bouillabaisse, all kinds of great dishes like that.
Now it's very important, especially when following a recipe, to have all of your ingredients in easy reach, measured out, and have most of your knife prep done. There's nothing worse than heating your oil in the pan, chopping your onion. Now your eyes are crying from the onion. And then you go add your onion to the pan, come back, chop your garlic. By the time you smash, peel, chop, you go back to the pan, but you look at your recipe one more time just to be sure. It says don't brown onions, but when you go to the pan, your onions are brown.
Usually I wait to chop fresh herbs though until right before I'm about to use them, because once you bruise the leaves, they tend to wilt and turn brown fairly quickly. Now keep in mind, I'm only making 2 to 3 servings, so if your family's larger than mine, feel free to double or triple the recipe. So the ingredients are a loaf of your favorite bread. I'm using ciabatta because it's my favorite for garlic toast. 1/4 pound of spaghetti. This is a whole pound, but I can do the math. Olive oil for drizzling over your toast and for warming your pan. 6 whole garlic cloves cut in halves. Stay away from the jarred stuff though, it's just not as fresh. I have found bags that are vacuum sealed to maintain freshness and moisture. So if you're not big on the peeling and smashing of the garlic, this is totally for you. 1 small onion, chopped. You can use red, brown, white, shallots if you have them. 1/4 of a fennel whole that's been washed, rinsed, and chopped thinly or thickly, however you like your fennel. We're going thick because my fiance and I are very sensitive to the yeast flavor. 1 pound of white fish. I'm using a mixture of shrimp, bay scallops, calamari, and Icelandic white cod. But you can use whatever you want. You can use shrimp to make a shrimp stew, or you could use 6 fish if you want. It doesn't really matter. Stay away from fish like salmon though. They're very dominant and they'll totally take over the flavor. We're using a half of a 14.5 ounce can of Italian recipe diced tomatoes. No salt has been added to them, but basil, garlic, and oregano have been. And use their juices too. 1 cup of tomato sauce. You can buy one at the store or you can use your own. 1/2 cup of white wine, but if you don't like or have wine, go ahead and use a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. Splash of lemon juice. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste for thickening, and a whole bunch of herbs. I've got a dried bay leaf, dried oregano, fresh thyme, a pinch of saffron threads that I ground up myself, and 1 teaspoon of crushed red chili flakes. You can add more later, but once you put them in, you can't take the heat out, so be very careful with them. Fresh Italian flat leaf parsley for garnish, and as always, salt and pepper to bring out all of the flavors. Now everyone uses different salts at home, but for this dish, I think it's great to use sea salt to stay true to that Mediterranean flair. Plus, the fish loses some of its natural salt when you clean it, and the sea salt almost helps restore some of that fresh ocean flavor. Now roll up your sleeves, wash your hands, pull up your hair if you have any, and let's get started. Warm 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in your favorite medium-sized saucepan. Bring about 3 quarts of water to a boil for your spaghetti. I'm about halfway there. And make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees for your garlic toast. And I'm there. As your pan becomes warm, go ahead and add the garlic, fennel, and onions. And cook them until they all become fragrant. It'll be about 2 minutes or so. That already smells beautiful. Unfortunately though, you have to remove the garlic. The key to this dish is not having one thing overpower the other, and garlic is definitely a strong flavor. So you have to pull it out.
Alright, that's all cooking up nicely. Drizzle your bread with your olive oil and pop it into the oven. For a softer bread, leave it in for 5 minutes, but for a crispier crust, you can even leave it in for up to 10. And that's almost as long as it takes to cook the stew anyway, so the timing is perfect. Be careful. Eight minutes is good for me. Now back to the stove. Add your spaghetti to your boiling water and make sure to stir it often. That way it doesn't all get stuck together and you got one big pasta lump. Okay. Go ahead and carefully remove the garlic from your pan using a slotted spoon. Not everything, just the garlic. And that makes 6. It's time to add our tomato sauce. Be careful, your pan's hot. You don't want any of this liquid to come up and get you. Top of our can of diced tomatoes. Get that juice, that's where all the flavor is. Fresh herbs and dried herbs. Our white wine. Oh, I love cooking with wine. Splash of lemon juice. And you may or may not need the tomato paste, but I'm gonna add it anyways, just because I really love the flavor. And a little more, why not? Get the rest of these herbs too. Go ahead and bring it to a simmer, not a boil. If you bring it to a boil, the liquid will get far too hot and the fish will cook way too quickly and they'll become very rubbery and we don't want that. Doesn't that look wonderful? Oh my God, I love this. Wow, the few tiny threads of saffron I added are so fragrant already. Saffron is prized around the world. It's very expensive, so you won't find it in most households. Although I've read that it's very easy to grow and maintain. So hey, maybe I'll give it a shot. Historically, saffron was used for dyes of fabric, hair. It's been known to be an aphrodisiac, and apparently it's really good in black or red tea. Try adding a single thread, just to give you a nice, calm, relaxing night. Stir my spaghetti. Almost done. And check on my toast. My timer went off. It's almost golden brown. I'm going to leave it in for just another minute.